In my opinion, Mafex always makes by far the best DC figures available, so it's always exciting to get a new one. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Mafex Night Crusader Batman. Huge thank you to you guys for joining me for this review. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Starting off with the packaging. Through the window, you are able to see Batman along with the accessories that he comes with. Down up front, we get a look at the figure itself. Over here it says Batman. On the side of the box, it says Batman again, and then we get another look at the figure. On the back of the box, we get a look at the figure in a bunch of different poses along with some of the accessories that he comes with, and it just kind of gives you a good look at all the different options that you have with this figure. He's got all kinds of cool stuff going on, like interchangeable capes, a bunch of different heads, all kinds of cool display options with this guy. And then on this side of the box, we get another look at the figure. He's looking pretty dope right there, and that's about it for the packaging. It is collector friendly and all that good stuff, but enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and get Batman out and take a look. Oh dang, okay, so here we have Batman right out of the box, and man, I am loving this figure. Once again, Mafex absolutely killed it on a Batman figure. Every single one of their Batman figures has been amazing, and honestly, this one might end up being one of the best. That's going to come down to personal preference though, because like every single Batman figure that they've done is like the perfect version of what they were going for. So, you know, it's all going to come down to personal preference. For me, this is one of my favorite looks for Batman, or not this exact look. We'll get to the look that I like. I mean, this is cool, but you know, the pointy shoulders aren't, you know, my main preference. I like the normal cape. But anyways, these colors are awesome. Like, these are my favorite colors when it comes to Batman. You've got like the light blue, the gray, and then the yellow bat symbol. That's my favorite look for him. So yeah, this looks amazing. And they did a good job with everything, you know. It's well sculpted. There's not a whole lot of detail. He does have, you know, the bat symbol on his chest, and that's sculpted on there, and then the belt has some sculpting work, but aside from that, it is pretty plain. But you know, it's got some good muscles and it looks like Batman, so I'm happy with it. And he does have an awesome soft goods cape. Check this out. So we do get some wires in there, and the wires can support the weight of the cape, so that's always nice to see. We have wires in the lining here, and then wires coming down the middle. And yeah, it's just a really nice, posable, good-looking cape. So they've gotten better and better when it comes to capes. Their first Hush Batman figure, I liked it quite a bit, but the cape was just like big and heavy and clunky. And it seems like they've just been getting better and better with capes. And on this Batman, I think they absolutely killed it. And he has this really cool feature where he has like interchangeable cape attachments and accessories, and you could kind of switch things up. So let's go ahead and do that. So check this out. This is super cool. So the capes just like plug into the upper torso. There's a couple of pegs in there, and you know, they just kind of go right in, as you could see. And check this out. He's got this right here where you can make it to where he doesn't even have a cape, and that is pretty awesome. And you know, there are like pegs, so these pieces just plug right into the upper torso. And look at that. Boom. That's really cool. It's nice to have a Batman like this. And this makes me want a Batman with no shirt that we could set up like this with the cowl and the pants. You know, that'd be awesome. And have him fight Ra's al Ghul. But look at that. That is super dope. And then he has one more cape attachment that we'll take a quick look at. And this is all very easy to swap out. And I love that there's pegs in there because it keeps it all in place when you have it on there, you know? So that's really cool. He's got like the standard, just kind of like classic cape. And this right here is my favorite look for Batman. Boom. To me, this feels like classic Neil Adams Batman. So yeah, I love this right here. This is my favorite look. The standard cape, the blue and yellow and light gray colors for the costume. This is awesome. So I love that we finally have this version of Batman. And yeah, they did a great job with it. And just like the other cape, you know, it's got like wires and stuff, and it's made from good material, feels nice, it's posable. So yeah, they killed it with the whole cape setup. And I love that we get 3 different options. But let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at some of the detail on him. Starting off with the head, I think they did a pretty good job with this Batman head sculpt. There's not a whole lot going on, but it definitely does the job. The mask looks good. The eyes look good. The skin tone is okay, although I do wish there was a little bit more detail in there. I still think it looks nice. And then he does have the ears on the side of the head. And then I like how the bat ears up here are kind of soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about them breaking. That's always nice. So yeah, that's a good looking Batman head sculpt. And then moving on to the cape, I think they did a nice job of blending the soft goods with the sculpted areas. I mean, obviously you could tell the difference, but I do think it flows together pretty nicely. And this cape is really, really good. They're getting better and better with their soft goods capes. I love all the folds in here, the wires, the really clean stitching. All of this looks great. And then checking out the body here, he does have this bat logo on the chest, which is really nice. It's very well painted and it's sculpted. It's not just painted on there. And then the muscles look good. He's mostly gray, but there is like some shading in there to kind of bring out the details. So that all looks nice. Check that out. And the belt is just yellow. I do wish there was a little bit of paint work in there to kind of bring out the details, but it does look good. And then I like how on the side of the arm, the forearm blades are soft plastic as well, so you don't have to worry about those breaking. I've had these break on my Batman figures from other brands. Thankfully, never with the Mafex, so that is good. And yeah, man, this is a great looking figure. I love the light gray and the blue. The cape looks awesome. It's really well done. Look how clean all the stitching is. And it's just a great looking figure. Like I said, this is my favorite look for Batman, and I think that Mafex pretty much killed it everywhere. The whole thing looks amazing. And then Batman does come with some pretty great accessories, including 3 different head sculpts. The first one is the one that we've already looked at. I think it looks really good. Pretty much a perfect looking Batman head sculpt. The next one has like an angry face, but it also has these really long ears. And this one is going to look really dope with the cape that has the spiky shoulders. For the third head sculpt, Batman has some type of breathing device, so he could go like scuba diving and fight crime underwater or whatever. It's really cool to get something like this. I don't think we've seen this on too many Batman figures. And then he does come with several sets of hands. First off, we have a pair of fists, and then we have a set of open relaxed hands. We have a set of open dramatic hands. Then we have a pair of flat hands, and these could be used for like karate chopping, or they can be used for swimming, so that's cool. And then he does have a pair of gripping hands. And then finally, we have a set of hands that kind of look like fists, but they are open just a little bit. And these hands are so that you can like wedge the cape in there, and you could, you know, pose Batman with him holding his cape in front of his face or something, and you could use these hands to secure the cape in place. And then he does come with this bat grappling hook deal, you know, and this is really cool. I like how the wire itself is metal so that you could pose it around, and the wire is pretty strong, so I think for the most part it's going to support the weight of the actual bat hook thing. So this is a very cool accessory. So yeah, Batman does come with some typical stuff, but I love everything that we have here. All the hands, the multiple heads. I like how the different heads can give him like totally different looks and different artistic styles, so that's always nice to get with the figure, to have like options to represent different versions of the character. So yeah, I love all the accessories. Alrighty, so now for some quick size comparisons. Here we have the Night Crusader Batman alongside the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman and the Mafex Hush Batman. And damn, in my opinion, Mafex hands down makes the best Batman figures available. All 3 of these things are freaking amazing, and they're like perfect representations of the comic book versions of Batman that they represent. I love these. They're probably my 3 favorite Batman figures. And you know, at the end of the day, I might say that the Night Crusader is my hands down favorite all around, because this is my favorite look for Batman, you know? So, but I wouldn't argue with anybody that said any of the other ones were their favorites, because all 3 of these things are freaking amazing and they look awesome together. And then next up we have Batman alongside the brand new Mafex Bane. And then on the opposite side we have the Mafex Steel. And these 2 figures are freaking incredible too. I hope to review Bane pretty soon. Hopefully I could get to it. I've already reviewed Steel, but man, again, Mafex just killing it with the DC stuff. And this Bane looks absolutely perfect next to this Batman. I think that size right there is just perfect for these 2 characters. So they're going to go together really well. And then here we have them alongside some Mafex Superman figures. On the left, we have the Dark Knight Returns version. On the right, we have the Hush version. And Batman looks great next to these. I would love to see Mafex do more Superman figures. Just give us like, you know, different specific versions of him, just like they're doing with Batman. I think that'd be awesome. Right now, they've already killed it with these 2 Superman figures. The Dark Knight Returns version is probably my favorite Superman figure, hands down. So yeah, they're killing it. And to show Batman off with some Mezco figures, here we have him alongside the Mezco 112 Collective John Stewart Green Lantern and the Mezco 112 Collective Aquaman. And I think scale-wise, it kind of works, but you know, as far as the style goes, they're definitely going to clash a bit. And then here we have him alongside the DC Icons Flash by DC Collectibles. Rest in peace. Over on this side, we have the Revoltech Flash. And I would love to see Mafex do a Flash figure. That's probably my most wanted DC character from them. I think they would do a great job. But yeah, this Batman could fit in with all kinds of 1/12 scale DC figures that have existed throughout the years. I think he looks pretty good with the Icons Flash, and I think he kind of works with the Revoltech. Obviously, Revoltech has its own style and stuff, but I think the scale is definitely fudgeable here with these guys. And then going way back, here we have Batman alongside the DC Universe Classics Martian Manhunter by Mattel. On the opposite side, we have the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Infected Superman. And then here we have him alongside the Mafex Knightfall Batman and the Mafex Nightwing. And then going away from DC, here we have him alongside a Star Wars Black Series Imperial Stormtrooper. On the opposite side, we have a G.I. Joe Classified Infantry Soldier. And then here we have Bats alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And then last but not least, here we have Batman alongside the Loose Collector Coffin Comics Legacy Series La Muerta. And then on the opposite side, we have my original character Odious. Figure coming soon. Pre-order link is in the description below. And just like with almost every other Mafex figure, the articulation on Batman is pretty damn awesome. So let's go ahead and see what we have going on here, starting off at the head. So the head and the neck area is a little bit different from your typical Mafex because he doesn't have movement at the lower neck, and that's because he has this interchangeable cape piece. So we do lose that, but we still get good range out of the head and neck area. As you can see, he's able to look down to about right there, which is really good. And then he's able to look up to about right there. And, you know, if you push this too much, then the collar piece does come out, but you could just push that down and his head does stay at about right there. So, yeah, that's pretty good range. And then he does have some nice tilting action there. So that's always nice to see. And he can look side to side. So really good movement at the head and the neck, even though we don't have that lower neck point of articulation. And then for the torso, he does have a diaphragm cut and a ball joint at the waist. Using both of those, he's able to crunch forward to about right there, which I think is pretty damn good. And then he's able to go back to about right there, which is good. And then we get some nice like side to side movement. You can do all kinds of good stuff here. You can twist at the diaphragm. You can also twist at the waist. And yeah, everything just works really well. The waist joint does most of the work here, but I think both the waist and the diaphragm joint get good range and do a good job. So both of them working together is really nice. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Mafex torso articulation setup. They always do a great job with it. Same thing could be said about the shoulders. I always like how they do this too. They kind of have like a butterfly type of joint going on, and this is really dope. You can go back a pretty good amount if you want to get him to like cock back so he can get ready to punch someone, you know. That's great. And then he can get his arm in front of him a really good amount too. So yeah, look at that. That's awesome, man. Like I said, I love these shoulders on Mafex figures. And then he does have upper bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows. He has a ball joint at the wrist that has a hinge in there, so you can swing him around, spin him around, do whatever you need to do there. And then I forgot to mention it, but his arms do come up to about right there, which is really good. Damn, I got them all jacked up. Sorry, Batman. So yeah, his arms come out to the side a really good amount. And I really, like I said, I really love these shoulders, not only because of the, you know, the butterfly joint effect that we get, but I also love how you could like shift them around. Because, you know, if you have his shoulders up, you could kind of just like display different emotions and different things depending on how you position the shoulders, you know. You could kind of have him relaxed or like up like he's in a defensive stance or something. So yeah, I really love the shoulders on these figures. And then moving down to the legs, he does have drop down hips. So they drop down like that, and then you're able to kick forward to about right there. So that'll work. Then he could kick to the side. So that's nice. He does have upper thigh swivel. Well, I mean, obviously not like a upper thigh swivel cut or anything, but the upper thigh does rotate on that ball joint there, so that is good. And then he does have double jointed knees. And at the foot, he has a ball joint with a hinge that allows his foot to go forward to right there. Then it goes up to right there, rocking ankles. And then he does have a toe hinge. Bam. So yeah, like I said, this Batman figure has some incredible articulation, just like all the Mafex figures. They always kill it with the articulation. I love what they do. All their figures are a whole lot of fun to play with. And you know, I've got to say, when it comes to Batman, all of the joints felt really, really good. Like, you know, sometimes when it comes to Mafex, things feel okay out of the box, but then you play around with them for a little bit. The next thing you know, something is too loose or too tight, like something expands. It feels like you're going to break the figure. You got to put oil in there and just do all kinds of weird stuff. With Batman, I didn't have to do any of that. Like, I took the figure out, felt good. I've been playing with it for days, still feels good. And yeah, just everything feels real nice. And he's got great articulation. And I'm happy to see that the articulation is just enjoyable all the way around without any issues. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, man, thank the universe for Mafex, because no one else out there is making amazing DC figures in 1/12 scale as consistently and at the level of quality that they've been doing, you know. Every single one of their DC figures has been incredible. I could only think of one that I didn't like, and that was the Hush figure. Aside from that, every other DC Comics figure from Mafex has been amazing, and this Batman is right up there with some of the best that they've done so far. For me personally, this is probably going to go down as my favorite Batman figure, only because this is my favorite look for Batman. But as far as quality goes, all their Batman figures have been like top notch. Like, I wouldn't even argue with anybody that said that the Hush one was better than this, or the Dark Knight Returns version is their favorite, or whatever, because every single one of them is so amazingly well done. For this guy right here, they did everything right. It's well sculpted, the paint is clean, the articulation is ridiculous, the accessories are fun, and he's got a lot of options with the interchangeable capes and the different heads, and man, they just did everything flawlessly on this guy. I really don't have any complaints. I love the colors. I love the design. I just love everything about this figure. In my opinion, Mafex absolutely killed it once again. If I was to sit here and try to force something to complain about, I guess I would say that the belt would have benefited from just a little bit more color. But aside from that, this thing is literally perfect in my opinion. I really, really love the way this figure turned out. And like I said, it's going to go down as probably my favorite Batman figure of all time. A big reason why is because this is one of my favorite designs, and it's just an amazing figure. It's like a perfectly executed figure of this version of Batman. So yeah, Mafex killed it, and geez, man, they're just the best when it comes to making DC figures. I know there's not a whole lot of options of 1/12 scale DC figures. You know, McFarlane obviously does the DC stuff, but it's not really 1/12 scale. It's like 7-inch, and you know, some of it's pretty good, but generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of that line. But there's some bangers. You know, they've released some bangers for sure. But for me, my go-to when it comes to DC figures is definitely Mafex. The only thing that I wish they did differently was released more DC Comics figures, because they kill it every single time. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.